Namaskaram and welcome to a very new episode of Musings with Udayaji. I am your host, Krishna Nuni, and I don't want to give a generic introduction to Udayaji because you will get to know who he is, and most of you will be already knowing him. And my connection with Udayaji, I would say that proudly that I am his student. So in this series, we will be exploring various aspects of life, Vedanta, mysticism, extraterrestrial life, and so on. And I would love to invite Udayaji. Namaskaram, Udayaji.
Namaskaram.
So, Udayaji, my third question to you. You are the champion of satsang gatherings in Amrita, and as you know, we were and we are still fans of those sessions. And personally speaking, I terribly miss those days.
Yes.
So I need to start with an apology where I haven't traced the history of satsang. It was all about being there for me.
Yes, I understand. So
my question is, where did it all begin and your experience with us?
Right. Okay. So, before satsang gathering began in Amrita University campus in Coimbatore, my classes are all based on this, for MBA, self-awareness and personal growth, cultural education for the MTech students and so on. So those days when I was talking about all this, a handful of students, MTech students, one day came to my room and requested, "Sir, we are so interested in what you're talking about in the class and we want to learn, we want to know more of such stuff. And in the class, not all of them will be interested. So we are a group of people interested. So can you do something about it? Can we come to your room regularly? You can fix a day or time or whatever, and we will come to your place, your cabin or wherever you suggest, and you talk about it, and teach or whatever, and we will all listen. We would love to be there with you all." So that's how the first satsang, the first session, with these handful of students. So we fixed a day, one day a week, and this is the time after class hours. So you come to my cabin, my office room in the Amrita School of Business building, and that's how it started. So this few group, about 7 or 8 students, I don't remember. So they came and then we started. And then again, after a few weeks, they suggested, "Sir, let's fix one particular day and time, and let's put up this notice, and whoever is interested, let them come." So that's how, it's all the work of students. How Navneet and Aishwarya helped me start my own YouTube channel. So these students, the group, a bunch of students, they organized everything, put up a notice and, spread the word, fix the day, time and everything. And all that, it was their work. And so eventually, we started with Tuesday evening. That didn't work because of so many other things. Then Thursday, Friday, we went on changing. Finally, we fixed on Wednesday. And then after the notice went, word of mouth spread, more and more people started coming. And the place also, the venue also, we fixed the yoga hall in the 3rd floor of Amrita School of Building, and so on and so forth. So, so when we started the formal satsang group officially, about 15 years, I would say, ago. And since then, except during the summer vacation and all that, we had breaks. But otherwise, every Wednesday, 5:30 to 8:30 is satsang gathering time. And on an average, maybe 35 to 40 people, maximum we had about 50, 55. And some days it would go down. And I remember even today, in one session, one satsang gathering, there was only one student sitting there and me. But still we continued, I was telling him some stories and this. So without a break, except during summer holidays and all that, satsang gathering was going on. And even faculty members, staff members, families who are staying in the campus, they used to come, not regularly, but whenever they are free, So that's how it started. It went on, and the physical satsang gathering abruptly stopped because I got retired. And then we began the online satsang. A lot of students from various parts of the world joined, but somehow because of the time difference and all that also didn't work. And that's how it goes now.
So I must say this. I have met some of the finest minds in Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham from satsang, which has a tremendous impact on me also. And I am curious, this may sound a bit personal. What was your experience with me?
Oh, okay. In fact, all the satsangis, we used to call satsangis, all those students and members and who participated in the satsang gathering. We were like a family,
Absolutely.
The relationship we had, it was, I would say, even more than a family connection, The love and bonding we had, we used, at the end of the satsang, we used to hug each other. No words to describe that, So my feeling towards all of you, no words. Amazing. That is what I miss now. The physical closeness, the hugs, the laughter. What all we did in the satsang gathering, discussion, meditation, Vedic chanting, Gayatri mantra, watching movies, psychic experiments, relaxation, yoga nidra. So many things we did. All the higher aspects of life, That is why when you said the members of satsang are a little different from the others, they are much more sensitive, much more intelligent, because to come to a place like satsang, ordinary minds, I'm using the word ordinary minds, the people who are the normal kind, there's no way they can come. It is not their calling. So I used to say, all those who are here in satsang group, physically or mentally, wherever, you are blessed. Without the universe, without that anugraha of the guru or the universe, you cannot be in satsang. Right? So that is my experience with you and others like you. Oh yeah, I think these memories, fond memories will go on and on and on. Those can never go out of me. Absolutely not.
I still remember you calling me the child of satsang.
Yes.
I think I used to be the youngest.
Yeah, youngest. Right. Because those days when you started attending satsang, you were still in BA communication class, So you were
my first year.
One of the little,
I used to be there.
One of the little kids in the satsang gathering, There was
and
so many people. Yeah, right.
And the mischievous one again.
Yeah, right.
But everyone enjoyed and pampered all those mischiefs.
Oh,
that's the beautiful part.
Right. Some days during those satsang gatherings, I used to feel guilty because our session, got over beyond 8:30, and many people missed their dinner. But I used to feel so guilty. And I used to bring a lot of Nendram, Param, fruits and all that. So that
I remember that.
in case students miss dinner, at least have this, So that was the intensity of those sessions.
Okay. So, coming to the fourth question, I know that you are a big fan of Jiddu Krishnamurti and UG Krishnamurti.
Oh, yeah.
Their ideas may be contradicting, but eventually, if you go to the crux, you can find that it is just leading to one direction.
Absolutely, yes.
So, as I know that you have personally met both of them, can you please share your experience with these great masters?
Right. I told you, I was a voracious reader. I used to go to all the libraries in Chennai, Connemara Library, British Council, American Library, and so on. So one day I went to British Council, and I was, there was no particular books that I, pick up. Whatever is interesting, fiction, non-fiction, everything I'll pick up. So one day I, was browsing through the shelf, the books in the British Council Library, and this title of the book, caught my attention. Commentaries on Living. I thought, wow, very interesting title. I pulled out this book from the shelf and went through some of those things, found it very interesting, and I took that book, borrowed it, came home and started reading. After I read that first book, Commentaries on Living, I think it was book 2 or 3, I'm not sure, or book 1, I'm not sure, but Commentaries on Living. My God, the transformation that one book brought in my life, no explanation. I told you I was a very religious person, right? Doing puja, belief systems and so on. But and every day I used to sit in front of in our puja room, and in front of those photos of the gods and goddesses, do my own japa, chanting, flowers and puja and everything. But after I read Krishnaji's books, the Commentaries on Living, my God, the whole religious routine that I was doing was completely wiped out. I stopped doing puja, I stopped, worshipping the pictures, stopped lighting the lamp, everything stopped. And my mom and dad and everybody at home was stunned. What's going on? This fellow became a rowdy or something, They couldn't understand. But then, I went again to the British Council Library, picked up all the books that, they had about Krishnamurti's books. And then, the curiosity, my God, if only I can see this man. I had seen the photographs and all that. But then again, the uncle who taught me pranayama, and I learned it wrongly. That uncle came, and to him I asked him, I'm reading the books written by Krishnamurti. Is he still there? And my uncle told me, of course he's still there. In fact, this year, he's coming to Chennai to give talks. My God, I was hooked. And when Krishnaji came to Chennai, I think it was late 70s, 78, 79, or maybe a little before also, right? And, whenever I knew from that day on, Krishnaji is coming to Chennai, and he would be in Chennai for about 2 or 3 months. Every weekend he will give talks, 6 or 8 talks, and 5:30 or 6 the evening talks will begin. But I will go there to Vasant Vihar, the headquarters of the Krishnamurti Foundation, 2:30, 3 o'clock itself, and sit right in the front on the floor. They have put a carpet, everything, right in front of Krishnaji's, stage, platform. My God, every year I used to go there, listen to him. And then there were, a couple of friends in the Krishnamurti Foundation, my close friends. They invited me when Krishnamurti had a discussion with scientists and scholars, only for those people. Public is not allowed. But I was invited because I was friend of Samoset. So since then, every year I used to attend Krishnaji's talks, question answer session in the morning. And I remember this one incident I tell about Jiddu Krishnamurti. And we all knew, all devotees and Krishnamurti Foundation staff, all of us knew that year when Krishnaji came to Chennai, 85 I think, right? 85. We knew that he won't be long on planet Earth. That day, one of the friend, who was in Krishnamurti Foundation, he was also called Krishnamurti. So he called me, Uday, Krishnaji is going to United States, and whether he will come back next year, whether we will see him, we don't know. You come fast. So I went there to the Krishnamurti Foundation, and we were all waiting. A few of us, not the public. Public was not informed. The staff, the organizers, and all that. And we were waiting for Krishnaji to come down, and he was, old, 91 years, right? And then he was coming down. Luggages all were put in the car. He sat in the front seat next to the driver, and his car started. And I ran little, towards the pathway where the car would be coming, and stood on the side. And Krishnaji's car slowly was coming to go to the airport. And as the car came closer to where I was standing, I was so choking now. I was so overwhelmed. I did pranams to him. So first time face to face, Krishnaji looked at me with his big eyes straight, and I was close to the car, And when I did pranam, he also turned my side, looked at me, did pranam, and the car moved away. That was the last time I saw Krishnaji. And after that, and then we heard the news. He had gone to California, the OI ashram, his place, and we came to know that he had pancreatic cancer, and the doctor who treated him the last doctor who treated Krishnaji, one German doctor, Dr. Deutsch. So he refused to take any money or fees or charge anything. And Dr. Deutsch would say he was the last student of Krishnamurti. And then again, the same friend, my Krishnamurti Foundation friend, he one day came. I was teaching in a yoga institute in Chennai. So he came running one evening and said, "Hey Uday, Krishnaji has left his body." February 17, 1986. My God, this man changed my life completely. And then U.G. Krishnamurti, another great master whom I met, I had the opportunity, anugraha, grace, whatever you want to call, to be with him for 3 days when he came to India, and when he was staying in his, one of his devotees' house in Bangalore. And every morning, I went just for this purpose, just to be with U.G. Krishnamurti. So I took up a hotel room, and every morning, 6:37, I used to go to the place where U.G. was staying and be with him throughout the day. Breakfast, lunch, everything people will bring, and everything will be shared. We will eat. U.G. also will take something to drink or whatever, and he will sit on the sofa. We'll all sit, near him. Wow, what an experience! And one day I was sitting next to U.G. U.G. was sitting on the sofa. I was sitting on the floor, right, directly. Suddenly he knew my name, because we have to introduce and all that. So U.G. looked at me straight and said, "Uday, everything is there." Meaning, everything is within. Don't look outside. Everything is within. Those days I couldn't understand. I was just simply gazing at him. But then much later on, My God, all these masters, that is what they're saying. The whole universe is in you. You are not in the universe. Universe is in you. That was a marvelous, those memorable days, 3 days with Eugene.
Absolutely. And wonderful.
And then I came to know in 2007, 8, I'm not sure about the date. He also left his body in California. No, Sanen, Switzerland. Sanen. That's where he left his body. Amazing. I mean,
so
all master. Yeah, go on.
I personally feel overwhelmed listening to these beautiful stories. And you have spiritually given me an assignment to read commentaries on living. So I'll be starting today itself, the book, and beautiful. And it's my humble request to Udayji. We will definitely delve into each and every topic in the forthcoming sessions.
Of course.
And I think it's time for us to wind up. And
okay. I'm sorry I became a little emotional because whenever I talk about these great ones, I can't control, Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. You will be doing an injustice if you minimize your words on these people.
Right.
These Mahatmas.
Right. Exactly. Even in my, channel Satsang with Udayji, with the videos, slowly I am taking up one master after the other, I took up Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, then I'm in the pipeline, Mahaperiva, Nisargadatta Maharaj, so many people, So, yeah, all those great ones will be coming in the videos. Yes.
And we will be discussing in our forthcoming musings.
I love to do that. Yes.
And I hope you enjoyed the show.
Wonderful. I mean, no words.
Thank you.
This is what I am missing,
Yes.
People with whom I can talk and who can understand, That's what we want. Right. Good. I thoroughly enjoy. Oh, yes.
I feel really honored and blessed. So, Namaskaram Udayji with virtual hugs.
Of course, virtual hugs. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Udayji, and we will be meeting you guys again with a wonderful session near soon. And this is your host, Krishnan Unni, signing off. Namaskaram.
Thank you.